The next speaker is l'Association pour les victimes du monde.
Thank you, Madam President. We thank the High Commissioner for her report on Sri Lanka. However, we are worried about the lack of justice for victims of genocide on her report on Sri Lanka. Sri Lankan government forces in 2009 overwhelmed the Tamil, ended a bloody war in which Tamil resistant group fought to secure a separate state. Sri Lankan military forces made a genocide war against Tamils by killing more than 100,000 people, and about 147,000 people are unaccounted in short period of 6 months. The Northern Provincial Council in Sri Lanka and Tamil Nadu State Assembly, elected by more than 80 million Tamils, has demanded the independent international investigation on all crimes including genocide. The successive resolutions presented at this assembly ignores the call for international investigations into the main crime against the Tamil people. Without these being addressed, there can be no political solution, no justice, no security, no reconciliation for the Tamil people. We are also worried and thankful for Mr. Hugh McDermott, Member of Parliament in New South Wales in Australia, who is systematically victim of Sinhalese chauvinism for his engagement against Tamil genocide. We ask to the countries who co-sponsor the resolutions 30/1, 34/1, 40/1 to organize a special session on Sri Lanka as early as possible, and to refer Sri Lanka to the International Criminal Court, to appoint a country-specific rapporteur for Sri Lanka to monitor and report to the international community, to demilitarize and stop the colonization of North and East of Sri Lanka. Thank you for your attention.
Victoria's youth movement.
Thank you, Chair. United Nations human rights mechanism are vital UN tool for the protection and promotion of human rights. File visit are particularly important so that give a valuable and credible and insight into the event on the ground. We won't take this opportunity to take note the situation of Tamil in their homeland. With Tamil civil societies from northeast of Sri Lanka, we are deeply concerned on the situation of Tamils. From last November 2019, the Sri Lanka is a president by Gotabaya Rajapaksa and administered by Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa, genocidal president, and his brother former president who made the genocidal against Elam Tamil. Even during the last government, there was no any changement sign of recognition for Tamils. In May 2009, Sri Lankan military force made a genocidal war by the killing more than 150,000 civils and 146,000 people are uncounted. In short period of 6 months, December 2008 to 2009, Tamil nation in their own land are facing the military occupations with all its effect from occupations. Today we are voiceless and are facing the ongoing genocide in our homeland. The families of tens of thousands of missing who are the uncounted are still suffering.
And the next speaker is ABC Tamil Oli.
Merci, Madame la Présidente.
Thank you, Madam President. I'm making this statement on behalf of the families of victims of enforced disappearances of the Tamils. The mothers of persons who disappeared in the northeast of Sri Lanka have been waiting for many days to hear news of what happened to them. Since the end of the war, everyone who gave themselves into the army believed false promises from the army, and now they're missing. Justice has not been done to the families of these people after the genocide policy. However, mechanisms of the UN continue to consider that this is not happening. The President and his brother, the Prime Minister, are both responsible for the Tamil genocide, and they continue to deceive international opinion to the detriment of the Tamil people. In June 2020, hundreds of people gathered to express their solidarity with the mothers who were protesting under the presidency of Madam Maria Sagish. The requests were made to the international community, and this is why I invite members of this council to propose a special tribunal for Sri Lanka and to send the case of Sri Lanka to the International Criminal Court. Without further delay, only quick response and just response can give hope to youth like me who continue to believe in humanity in the world. Thank you.
Next speaker is the African Heritage Foundation, Nigeria.
Thank you, Madam President.
For last 11 years, this council mechanism continued to deny justice for Elam Tamils. Sri Lanka's increased unwillingness to consider international involvement directly contravenes the call by the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights for hybrid justice mechanism given by the shortcomings of domestic institutions of ensure impartial investigation and witness protection. Tamils live under the occupation of the genocidal Sri Lankan armed forces. 16 of the 19 divisions of the Sri Lankan army are in the north and east. There were 170,000 members of the military at the end of the armed conflict in 2009, and it is now about 3 lakh military and their family. The armed forces have gone into non-military commercial activity. They are engaged in large-scale property development, construction projects, and in business venues such as travel agencies, holiday resorts, restaurants, and memorable cafes in the north and east. The Tamils people are unable to exist since agriculture and fishing are not possible. This land grab will permanently change the demography of the Tamil homelands and make the Tamil people destitute in their own homeland. Sri Lanka armed forces must immediately release all civilians' lands. The government of Sri Lanka should immediately demilitarize the north and east of Sri Lanka and allow the civilians to lead a normal life, as justice, reconciliation and accountability have not been achieved by Sri Lanka. The High Commissioner must immediately refer Sri Lanka to the ICC through the Security Council. Thank you, Madam.
Thank you very much. Next speaker is Tamil Usagan.
Merci, Madame la Présidente.
Thank you, Madam President. Although the ratification of UN treaties has become a way to acquire respectability at the international level, states parties in many countries deny rights for people and harm the international justice mechanisms. In Sri Lanka, just after the end of the war, the financial situation of the Tamils deteriorated and no change has been noted since. Torture, sexual violence, disappearances, abduction and others problems, the demolition of cultural sites and so on is widespread, and this is the only process where victims don't have any control or a voice. Security forces have stopped ceremonies for those who were killed. The mothers of persons who disappeared are still looking for their children, and they continue to face harassment by the security forces. The families of martyrs and former combatants are harassed by the military, and 11 years after, the state bodies and international organizations are not involved. I would call upon the international community to stop all collaboration with the state of Sri Lanka, which continues to carry out genocide of Tamil Elam. And I call upon the experts of the treaty bodies to recognize the genocide of the Tamil people in the northeast of Sri Lanka. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. The freedom of belief and religion has become questionable, and the inclusive democratic rights of all citizens, particularly the Tamil, are made uncertain in the island. The Sri Lankan government authorities have brought a huge gap between Sinhala Buddhist majorities and the occupied Elam Tamil. The latest decision by the Sri Lankan President Gotabaya Rajapaksa legalizing a presidential task force to preserve the archaeological sites under the command of the Sri Lankan Defence Secretary is received as a threat to the Tamil-speaking people. The Sinhala Buddhists are going on to the next step of colonizing the homeland of Tamil. Sri Lankan President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has appointed 11 Sinhala members in the Presidential Task Force for Archaeological Heritage Management in the Eastern Province. The PTF team comprises of Sri Lankan military, extreme Sinhala Theravada Buddhist monks and a senior deputy inspector general of police, as well as hand-picked academies who are all Sinhalese. The PTF is to be headed by the genocidal Sri Lankan Defence Secretary, Major General retired Kamal Gunaranga. Mr. Gotabaya Rajapaksa has also appointed another 30 members team comprising mostly military commanders and intelligence directors, as well as police and the custom directors. The second PTF is also to build a secure country, disciplined, virtuous and lawful society, which is also led by Kamal Gunaranga.
Thank you, Chair. After the end of the war, in the year 2009, all those who had surrounded before the army and all who had been handed over the army by their relatives believe the fake promise of the Sri Lankan government have now been made to disappear. The UN Human Rights Council based discourse and failed to deliver justice to the families of Elam Tamil, who were subjected to the enforced disappearance at the hand of the occupying Sinhala military, particularly during the 2009 genocidal onslaught. The victims have throughout rejected the Office of Missing Person (OMP) as a farce. However, UN mechanism continue to uphold the OMP as a positive achievement. Despite the repeated appeal from the organization representing the hit and hint of the person subjected to enforce the disappearance, we urge the UNHRC to recommend the UN Security Council to refer Sri Lanka either to the Special Tribunal or to the ICC without further delay. Hence, we kindly request the international community to take the necessary action to provide us as a justifiable remedy on this matter.
Thank you very much.